We are going to make some fried chicken patties. If you're following along with me, we're going to start out with 2 packs of ground chicken. This is just a guesstimation, but I'm going to add some black peppercorn, and I'm adding about 1 teaspoon of this. Now, if you don't have the coarse black peppercorn, just use ground pepper, that works too. Now I'm going to add some Tony Chachere's Cajun seasoning, and I probably added about a half a teaspoon, about a tablespoon of hot sauce. And if you're someone who doesn't like spicy food and you're thinking this is going to be hot and spicy, don't leave, because once you get this mixed up into your ground turkey, this is not hot and spicy. It just gives it the most wonderful flavor. I am making up this recipe myself, so keep this in mind. I was craving some fried chicken. I didn't have any chicken breast, so I thought, well, I'll use my ground turkey. And I went ahead and I made my patties. You can skip this step if you'd like to, and you can just make up those patties as we go. You will need 2 bowls that are big enough to lay your patties in, and we are going to put about 1 cup of flour in one of the bowls. Also, you will need a large skillet. Now, I broke out my big boy skillet for this, my big cast iron skillet. We are going to crack open 2 eggs to put in the other bowl. Anytime I do any kind of frying, I use canola oil, so you will need canola oil. If you don't, your food will turn out to be soggy and full of grease, so I hate that. So I always use canola oil when frying, and that's just pure canola oil. Go ahead and put about 1 inch of canola oil in your skillet. Turn your stovetop eye on to medium, and you're going to want to keep an eye on that. Go ahead and grab your Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning. Again, just a guesstimation. I am adding probably about 1/2 to 1 teaspoon of Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning. And we are just going to add that to your flour. Add a half a teaspoon of paprika. And just a little more black peppercorn. I'm guessing I added maybe a half a teaspoon to this. And also this time I'm going to add some ground pepper. And I probably added maybe a half a teaspoon of the ground pepper. Now let's mix this together. Okay, maybe one more ingredient. We are going to add about a half a teaspoon, a 1/4 to a half a teaspoon of some seasoned salt, and mix this again. Back to those eggs, we are going to add maybe a half a cup of milk to those eggs. You want to make sure to whip your milk and eggs together and make sure your yolks are mixed really well into this. Now we're ready to batter. By this point, your oil should be hot, so you may need to cut that down to low. And while you're frying these, anytime you're frying something, you want to keep your temperature on your oil a certain level. So you're going to play around with that stovetop eye. You're going to go from medium to low. Sometimes I even bump it up to high. And that is for all you new cooks out there. You don't just leave it on one certain setting on your stovetop, because what happens is it really gets too hot, or it gets not hot enough. So it's just, you just got to play around with it and keep it at that certain temperature. Believe it or not, although canola oil cannot be good for you, it does have some healthy fats in it. I did dip these patties twice. I went from the flour to the egg and back to the flour. So I dipped it in the flour twice. And you can see me reforming that patty. They did not try to break apart in the skillet, so that was a plus. But if and when, because I will do this recipe again, this is a keeper, I'm going to add about a half a cup of breadcrumbs to the patties so that maybe they'll hold up better while I'm battering them. Now, you can flip these twice if you'd like to. I do. I don't like mine to just sit there in that oil, so I will flip them over once they're a pretty brown, and of course you don't want them to burn. And then once they get brown on the other side, I will flip them again. Also, for some of you new cooks out there, when you're frying and you go to flip them, just pick your skillet up just a little bit and tilt that oil to one side, the opposite side of where you're flipping. And that really does help to keep the oil from splashing on you and burning you. I know when I am frying foods, I am working that skillet. I am tilting it and moving everything around. So you do not want to walk away from this. Another tip for some of you younger cooks, new cooks, find a spatula that works for you. This spatula I have had probably ever since I was a young girl, and you can tell it's pretty ragged and it looks bad. It looks so bad, in fact, my daughter tried to replace it one time. That did not work well with me because this is my spatula. And I have looked for another one like it, but I can't find one. Once these reach the desired brownness, I went ahead and let these cook a few minutes longer, again, 30 minutes total. And at this point, you can walk away a moment and you can make your side dishes. So you'll need a glass bowl with a glass lid. If you don't have one, I've said this before, get you one. This is so easy. You'll need some organic carrots, organic baby carrots. Wash them thoroughly. Put them back in the bowl. No oil needed because they've still got a little water on them. And you'll need half of a ranch packet and just mix that in there with those carrots. Put the lid on it, pop it in your microwave on veggie setting. Just hit veggie setting and start. Cook them. When the microwave cuts off, you'll need to cook them again on the veggie setting. So twice on the carrots on that veggie setting. And we also did green beans this way on the side as well. And I seasoned those with some Parmesan cheese and some garlic. Oh, this turned out so amazing. Our fried chicken is done, and you're going to want to make sure to put that on a plate with a paper towel and drain all the oil off. Look at them. They're so pretty. And y'all, I had to make some sawmill gravy to go on top of these too. And this was our supper. Altogether, this took me about an hour to throw together. Maybe an hour and 15 minutes because I did make the sawmill gravy, but oh, it was so delicious.